How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Benji's Vlogs and Whatnots. I am Benji. It is a beautiful looking Tuesday morning. There's a little bit of cloud around and everything else in between. We're doing a couple of errands at the moment for our Tuesday. Going to go down to the shop and grab some stuff for lunch. Nothing too extravagant. Going to get some beef patties for a couple of cheeseburgers. Not going to go to the shop and get that crap that you get from Mickey D's or KFC or Hungry Jack's. Gonna go and cook my own. I like it a particular way, so we're gonna run down to the shop, grab a tray of beef patties and a couple of other bits and pieces that will go with it. Once we've done that, we're gonna come back and just puddle around the house as always, because there's not really much else we want to do for our 4th day off. Just sit back and relax and everything else, because we've been doing a few other bits and pieces around the house. Other than being relatively clear with a bit of cloud around, it is, as you can imagine, a wee bit windy. So yeah, I want to try and avoid as much of the wind pollution as possible in the microphone. So yeah, just going to put around the house once we've done this little errand to the shop. Just down at the local IGA to grab the things that we need. Oh, that's another thing that we need to grab. Gonna also need to grab a few 4-pack of the burger buns if they've got any. If not, then we'll have to improvise with what we're gonna basically use. So let's just hope that they've got everything that we need to make these burgers. So let's go and have a look and see what they got. But we'll have to leave you guys here in the car because yeah, I can't take you inside because it's a private establishment, supposedly. Alright, now that we've got that sorted out, style burgers we're going to have, the ones with little seeds on top. I dare say that these are fairly freshly cooked. Got about 4 pieces of stringy bacon. Got strong invited cheese, which is something that we absolutely love. Even though Mum and Dad have got onions in the house, so they've got a single onion that we're going to chop up for it. Unfortunately, we can only get a 4-pack of burgers. These are beef brisket burgers, so made in Australia from at least 96% Australian ingredients with 100% Aussie meat. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to put some of these into the fridge for the time being and basically finish off the other stuff that we need to get done for today. Now that we've got the last little bit of things on, it's time for us to get basically this whole cooking thing sorted out. We do have the frying pan out already, but what we need to do is go into the fridge and grab everything else that we need for the time being. So all I need to do is grab ourselves 2 of the beef patties and the bacon. I do have to divvy these up so that we can put 2 of these into the freezer. But what we're going to do for the time being is basically cut ourselves open things that we need. And the rest of the stuff we can sort out as we are, as you would say, cooking. They actually do smell quite nice, those. Not gonna lie. They're gonna go down quite nicely once everything is underway. Alright, that pan is now hot enough for us to basically dump these patties in there now. So we're going to let that sit there and cook up. While we wait, we'll divvy these 2 up into some little baggies. So we're going to just dump the other 2 in these types of bags, and we can just chuck these straight into the freezer and go from there. There's one. And there's two. So these two are just going to go into the freezer up here. So you don't need to go too nuts with where they go. That will do the job for what we're after. So now that we've got everything sort of underway, what we're going to do is once these are flipped over, I'm going to go and put the bacon through as well. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go and get some other things ready. First thing we're going to do over here is we're going to cut these bread rolls in half, and oh, they are bloody fresh. Yeah, that's all we're going to really do is just cut them in half like that, put them aside for the time being, and then when it comes time to getting close to getting served, we'll, as you would say, chuck the griller on and basically toast the very inside of these. The sooner we can get everything else underway, we'll be very happy indeed. While we're at it, we'll cut up some of this onion to add on top of the burgers. And I reckon that there will be a nice little addition to putting on top of said burger. Just going to put that on fresh. I'm going to put the cheese down the bottom on that, then the patty, then the bacon, then the onion. So once the burgers are 3/4 of the way done, we'll get everything else rolling. Right, now that these are about halfway done, I'm going to flip the burgers over like so. Look at that. Looks like they're going to be very tasty burgers indeed. At least now they're not bloody charcoal like they usually are. I reckon we'll probably put the bacon in a second. And what we need to do is chuck the grill, because we usually just toast up the inner parts of these burger buns while we doing everything else. While we're at it, we'll cook these pieces of bacon. Whoopsie! Looks like I went a little too much on on the buns, but that's alright. A little too less on that one, but too much on those, but that is alright. A little extra flavour for the burgers. Not only that, we've got 2 rations of bacon out, and we've got the other 2 cooking as we speak. So I don't mind if these go a little cool, because once we put everything together, once we take the buns out, it'll heat it all back up. So while we wait, we'll get a couple of these slices of cheese onto the buns, if they don't want to snap in half like they usually bloody do. They should be alright. So all we're going to do is just chuck 1 slice on each. Like I said, if they want to cooperate, there we go. And we can just put these back into here, and then we'll stuff our faces with the leftover cheese later down the track. But for now, we're going to just chuck these back into the fridge. That way we can save it for later. Everything is now officially, as you would say, done. Just put Put it there for the time being. Chuck these over here like so. A little bit of extra charcoal on those ain't gonna hurt nobody. Lovely jubbly. That is going to go down quite nicely once it is all together. So that is going to go nicely. I've decided to put the onion down on top of the cheese, and once the patties go on top of that, it should all melt together, and then the bacon goes on top. I'll sprinkle a little bit of barbecue sauce on top of that. It's going to go down like a dream. Now what we got to do now is put these patties on top of said things like so, because they've still got a little bit of heat to them. That should hopefully start melting down the very thing itself. Once we've done that, we'll put the bacon on top like so. If it wants to balance, of course. There we go. Just like that. A little extra piece for each. Look at that. That is looking like a bloody burger. Not exactly good for the arteries, but it'll do just fine for the lunch today. Look at that. Looks better than Hungry Jack's and McDonald's combined. Certainly a lot healthier than what they make. Well, Hungry Jack's is probably healthier than anything else, but all this is really missing is an egg. That's good. I'm going to sit here and enjoy this and go and hang the last bit of washing out before the end of the day comes. It's about 1 o'clock, so I'm going to sit here and eat these and go and enjoy. I wouldn't say enjoy hanging washing out, but go and hang washing out and enjoy the rest of the day for what it's worth. Now that was a very nice feed of burgers, I will admit that right now, ladies and gentlemen. That was quite a nice feed. Wasn't over full, which is good. I usually have a drink of some form of fluid, Coke, no sugar, or water, or even a coffee, but I didn't have any of those, so I wasn't overly too, as you would say, bloated, which was bloody good. Not only that, we've got all the things that we needed to get done today, so 3 loads of washing, food, and basically having young Miss Baxter out on the shoulder as always. She does thoroughly enjoy being right there, and she does let me touch her on the wing too. And it certainly does look like it was a good timing to get all that washing done. Done a whole heap of towels which I had on the back line. Now that there is no sun available, it wouldn't have dried all that well. They would have smelt funny, but it's a good thing that we managed to get a couple of hours of sun to basically do it. There is one load of washing sitting on the side clothesline, which I'll probably show you guys in a minute, but I think you guys have seen quite a few of those in the past. Yes, that stuff right out there, ladies and gentlemen, is the one thing that never seems to end. Washing for one's clothes. Got to do it at least once a week. That's normal stuff out there, at least twice a week. But there's another set of things that usually takes at least once a week. There's that right there. Towels and shower mats. It's the things that you use as soon as you get out of the shower and step on it. Never friggin' ends. That stuff there's been sitting in the laundry for just some of the many jobs that we do when we get around to it. Mowing, which again, we're going to have to get stuck into that soon. Because, well, looking at the stuff down there, it is fairly long on the tooth at the moment, so a lot of that needs to get done relatively sooner rather than later. And even Miss Baxter's agreeing with it. She's doing her little investigation of it to, as you would say, give us a report a little bit later on the simple fact that the grass is getting long. This is just a small portion of what I'm talking about with the lawn. As you guys can see down there, it is quite long. So it's going to be pretty much the same with the down in the corner there and down in the back. Just haven't had time to bloody go down there and do it. Amongst other things, as you guys can usually know, is my gut can't handle much when it comes to that sort of thing. Holding the whippersnipper up, because I've got to do the whippersnipper just down there because the mower is a bit bloody heavy to, as you would say, maneuver down there. So I've got to use the bloody whippersnipper, which in turn hurts. So even if we hire someone to do along the fence there, down the very corner of the property, behind the shed and down the very back, maybe even around the fire pit out the back, then I've only got to do a little bit of stuff where it's somewhat flat. Because again, the goat does not like, as you would say, the strenuous movement that is required to get things done. But for the time being, I'll be the one to go and do it. Won't be today because it is a little bit too late in the day for that. It is currently 5:45 in the afternoon, so it is a bit late to go and, as you would say, get the whippersnipper going and basically do a bit of lawn. But I'm not worried about that just yet, because we will eventually get it done at some point in the next few days. All you need to do is get through the next 3 days, because that's what we've got for work. It's a 3-day stint for this week. So in saying that, guys, I'm going to put the camera down and enjoy the day for what it's worth. So it is an Evidadeci for now. I know this is a bit of a boring video, but that is alright. That is just what happens from time to time. So we're just going to sit back and enjoy the rest of the day. So in saying that, guys, I'm going to put the camera down and I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, keep it cheesy.